It's another day here on Breakfast Central. Welcome and thank you so much for joining us. So come along as we take you for the next 3 hours on a journey, taking a look at some of the very interesting, I would say, very insightful stories and conversations that we'll be looking at here on Breakfast Central, on News Central, on a Thursday morning. I am Joe Hansen.
And I'm Benga Bora. You're welcome to Breakfast Central this beautiful Thursday morning in the city of Lagos. The skies have cleared, so we're not expecting showers these days. Today, maybe much later, at least this morning, it's not raining. It's been raining for a few days. And when it rains in Lagos, it pours. And a lot of people have been, apprehensive about going out. I saw tweets yesterday saying, look, if you're wherever you are, just stay there, because you know what happens when it rains, flooding and traffic. But hopefully we'll sort that out. But you're welcome to Breakfast Central. We have a bumper package for you as always. So many things to discuss, so many policies to dissect and look at. So sit back, relax, grab your coffee, and welcome aboard. Yes.
That's right. Anyway, as usual, we'd like all our viewers to please feel free, drop a comment or two, tell us what you think about the stories that we're going to dissect here today. And not just that, please feel free to also stream live, because we're streaming live on YouTube. We do have our regulars who are always there on YouTube watching, and those who do not drop a comment or two but are always there watching. And thank you so much as well to some of our viewers who are not from the South or watching from the South. I mean, shout out to those from the South. We also want to say thank you for watching, especially those from the Middle Belt. Ever since we had the town hall, there were conversations where many persons who lived within the Middle Belt or in the Middle Belt have continued to praise News Central for what they've done, making sure that they
very well deserved.
Yeah, very well deserved. Very well deserved. I remember I got some messages as well concerning that. But let's now go straight into our usual, which is our first salvo here on Breakfast Central, and that's what we call wake-up conversations. For those who are just waking up, come. Let's dissect these stories from yesterday night or from a few hours back. And the very first one we're going to look at has got to do with the governor of a state who had come out in public during a press briefing where he had present a very interesting conversation with people from different walks of life, including the press. The media was there, and he mentioned categorically that he will stop banditry and insurgency in Zamfara state if he is given the opportunity to do so. Now, he didn't just say so, he also mentioned how he was going to do it. How? Well, if you ask me, he simply said that he knows where the bandits are in the bush. Yes, that's Governor Dauda Lawal. He says he knows where the bandits are in the bush, and he can actually track them on his phone. And he brought out his phone and said he knows when they're leaving and when they're coming. For us here on Breakfast Central, we felt that was too much of an information and a very strong statement to make, especially in a country that's bedeviled with insecurity. And we felt that it was high time that the security chiefs swung into action, call him and say, good, since you have this information, now let's see how we're going to make it happen.
Why don't you share the information with security operators?
Exactly. Why don't you share the information? And secondly, why didn't you talk to us first before you went ahead to carry out a press conference or to do a press conference? And then there's another aspect of it. He did say in that press briefing that he doesn't have the powers to carry it out because the powers come from Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory.
Presidency.
And if the presidency gives him the opportunity, but it seems like he mentioned, he's not given, he's not allowed to do it. And that also sparked a different conversation, Winga, on another aspect.
Are we playing politics?
Are we playing politics?
Insecurity.
Exactly.
But let's take a listen to what the governor said, and then we'll also take reactions.
Sannan duka yau ba ya wata biyu ba na so sababbin motoci guda 150 na raba ma jami'an tsaro duk da
I mean, Joe did explain
Yeah.
the content of that video earlier, and it's led to lots of debate that why are you telling us? You should be telling the security operatives and the political aspect. Is it because he is a PDP governor? Is that why the government is not forthcoming in reacting to his accusations and to act on the information the governor, I'm sure, is willing to provide the location of those bandits so security operatives can deal with them?
Well, that's one thing, and then we'll find out. But others have come in his defense. We've had other politicians who have said that he possibly was just, Governor Dauda was just speaking out of frustration, out of trying to ensure that he brings sanity and safety to the people of Zamfara State.
Emotions and frustration.
Yes, hence why he made those statements and such claims. And you would wonder if truly one is speaking out of frustration. Yes, that could lead one to speak that way in the manner in which he spoke. But then again, there's also what we know as accountability. If you are accountable and you say that you're accountable and you know how to, in other words, you've pushed the responsibility right on the front.
I mean, constitutionally, he's the chief security officer of the state.
Of course, he is. And therefore, he's saying, listen, I can do this. So what we hear currently is that the security operatives, better still, have called on the governor, and we do hear that there's been allegedly been a 7-day ultimatum that's been given to him. But we'll wait and see how true this is, and we'll also wait to see if there's a possibility that he will be meeting with security operatives or chiefs to discuss how he's able to, watch them, understand when they're leaving, when they're coming back, and so on and so forth. And if it happens to be so that all the things that Governor Dauda said is true, then I think that Nigeria should be grateful for it, because it seems like someone has decided to do the critical job for the security chiefs. And if he claims to have all of that information and data, then it's high time for the security chiefs to, bring him in,
you can share the
work with him,
with the security operatives, and they can do something about it. Another thing is maybe it's psychological warfare for those bandits. By making this announcement, they might be on the run and they will be jittery about their operations, knowing that the governor knows where they are. So they might have to change tactics or leave the state entirely. It could be psychological. So we'll wait and see how things go. Yeah.
Well, let's wait and see. Sometimes I always ask myself that, is it so hard a thing? We know it's difficult. It's difficult to fight insurgency, insecurity, because it's not just a Nigerian problem. It's also, we've seen it in the corridors of West Africa. There are few states where we have bordering the same, same borders, sharing borders, and so on. And we've always said, even security experts have said that Nigeria's borders are very porous in terms of penetration, entry, going out, and so on and so forth. But then again, I thought to myself, would it be also wrong if the North forms its own security front?
Similar to a security outfit similar to Amotekun, like what they have in the Southwest.
That's it.
Yes.
So all the North come together, all the Northern state governors sit together and say, listen, we cannot just wait for the presidency, or we can't wait for the national security. Those of us in the sub-nationals, those of us who are the governors, let's all come together. Let's have a region by region. Let's form the security. Let's empower them. Let's ensure that we also have control of who is in charge and so on. In that way, along the border lines, they're able to say, okay, fine, they have a particular security operative running this particular borderline. This might be exempting from what we have from the police and the army and so on. But then again, they can work in tandem.
It's actually more manpower. But they currently have civilian JTF, but I don't know how effective that is. And that's why Mr. President has put the suggestion of state policing on the table. But then it depends on who's going to fund them, what's going to be their mode of operation. There's still so many modalities to be worked out. But currently, the insurgents won't wait for you to pass legislation on that. We have a clear present danger of bandits and terrorism in Nigeria. And we need security operatives, whatever, by any means necessary to get on top of the situation, step up and end this, because every loss of life is a tragedy to the nation.
All right. Let's move to another story this time. It made the rounds yesterday. Senator Orji Uzor Kalu made a video that's been trending on social media. Now, earlier on, there were statements made online, especially from netizens and the likes, that the president, during his administration as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has also seen former past, be it ministers or senators, current sitting senators and so on, like the man you see there, who happens to be
also a former governor.
Yes, a former governor, Orji Uzor Kalu. You know, they've come out to be more outspoken compared to some previous administrations where there was quiet, peace and quiet from some of these former governors, as it were. Well, amidst the entire conversation online, this video popped up showing his home, his property, his house. Well, let's just watch. Let's watch. Just watch the entire video, and then you get the gist of what we're saying.
Hello, my wonderful people. This very weekend, Chinedu Anichiti took a journey to Potomac in Maryland, where we met the Igbo billionaire, former governor of Abia State, former chief whip of Nigerian Senate, former this, former that, and senator representing Abia North senatorial district in Abia State, Nigeria. There's no other person but Senator Orji Uzor Kalu. This is his home in Potomac in Maryland. This house you see is the house he has acquired years before becoming governor, years before stepping into politics in Nigeria. So the lesson we want to bring about this is not just to show he's not the type that shows his beauty, but you can see now, he can show where he is living. He can show this house to the public because he acquired it before he assumed public office. And this is not just, he has in Texas, he has in North Carolina, he has in different places, he has in UK. You can see him. He took me around the mansion. I saw by myself. I saw that this is the $1 billion investment.
Well, I've seen the video of Chinedu Anichiti. Everything he says about the video is correct. It's just that house I bought, I own a house in Boston, Massachusetts, 19/21 Fessenden Street in Mattapan, Boston, Massachusetts. I sold it and I put the money to buy where I live now in Washington, D.C. It was the same house Obasanjo was hailing when I was governor in 2003, and the U.S. authorities also came and looked at it when President Bush was president, and in the same house. So Chinedu Anichiti was right. I sold my house 19/21 Fessenden Street. It's not the first time I'm saying the story. And buy that house. Although Chinedu Anichiti didn't ask me when the house was built, but he just reported. What he reported was correct. I bought it before I became governor because it was proceeds of the house in Mattapan, Boston, that I used in buying the house. And it was properly declared in my declaration. Houses are in my name, and I never bought it to hide from anybody that I own the house. It's just that he said I bought it before I became governor. I bought it in 2003. That was when I bought the house in Washington. I just wanted this to be clear in the public record. So we will continue looking for what we are looking. The people who will jump up tomorrow to say anything are not welcome to this matter because 19/21 Fessenden Street in Mattapan in Massachusetts was my house. I sold it and bought it later. We had some change. Thank you very much. I just wanted to clear Chinedu because I saw what he did. He never asked me questions on when I bought my house. It's good to take the responsibility. Thank you.
Okay, I bet our viewers are wondering why the back and forth and why we've gone back and forth concerning this story. But then again, I think it's self-explanatory.
Yeah, but there's still more to it.
There's still more to that, you know.
So let's take the whole thing and then we'll come back for reaction.
All right, let's take a look at some of the fact checks, by the way. And then we'll come back and look at every single thing that everyone is saying here or concerning this.
Concerning the house in Maryland.
Anyway, there you have it. That's a fact check. It shows the name, real property, data search. You know, people have time, so they will take time and do the research. Okay, so owner's name, Kalu Orji Uzor et al. Date 2003.
Yeah, 26th of June.
Yes. 2003. Okay, so the location and so on and so forth. That's pretty much one of the fact check. Another one is Nigerian authorities accused Uzor Kalu of embezzling $24 million allegedly diverting funds to a family-owned company, while Nigeria Supreme Court overturned this conviction on procedural grounds on May 8, 2020. These findings raised new concerns about whether misappropriate public funds were used to acquire U.S. assets. Okay, this article goes on to say that our recent investigations also highlights a whole lot. But then again, let's look at the circled space there. Take note that the former governor, Senator Orji Uzor Kalu, acquired most of his U.S. properties through an American company he founded in the final days of his governorship, which he co-owned with his two minor children at the time. As his corruption trial advanced in 2014, he transferred many of these properties to SLOC LLC, an American entity, similarly an affiliate of his family conglomerate and a named defendant in the Nigerian government's corruption case. During this period, Uzor Kalu's relatives, beneficiaries of SLOC Holdings, spent an additional $2.3 million on U.S. properties, including the Lakeside Mansion near Houston. Governor Uzor Kalu and his brother also jointly purchased properties during this time. So it seems that no action was taken by Nigerian authorities. That's what the article there also says. But then again, price history in 2025, listing removed. There you have everything. Listing removed, $10,000 per month, 1 square. Just everything. But the thing is, you have the sources there. So the source, Bright MLS. You have Zillow Rentals. You also have all of that. And don't forget, he said he sold the property in that video. That he used the money.
Sold the property in Boston to
buy
the one in Maryland.
Yeah, in Maryland. But why are we bringing all of this? Why is all of this online? Well, that's because this story was hot as of yesterday. And it's hot because of one of the research articles you saw there, where Nigerians also reacted to it. So let's see the reactions from Nigerians. And like Benga said, that we can look at it holistically. Let's see some of the reactions. Voice of Conscience says, Orji Uzor Kalu hired the man to sell the lies that he bought his properties before becoming the governor. Meanwhile, his corruption case is still with EFCC. Benga.
Interesting. Kasim Ishola says, please tag me with the name of the man doing the narration. I will look for the addresses of the house and tag FBI. That house will be taken away from Orji Kalu because the money for the house came from taxpayers' money. And the narrator will definitely be an accomplice.
Okay.
Champagne Glass says, and the only job he ever had was being a politician in Nigeria. Do you know how much this adds to the U.S. real estate market value chain? And do you think America would ever want good governance in Nigeria and other African countries where questionable funds are used by politicians to acquire and maintain these structures? Okay. Nigerians. Okay, we're special. The same Uzor Kalu that was already serving a 12-year jail sentence for corruption but was let off the hook because of technicality and man no man. Now, narrator, they blew lies about property you owned before politics. Nariwa, says Daddy Aliyah. Awujale says, what is he going to do with all these houses? His children will build their own to their taste. He can't establish a food bank, water supply, good roads, or small hospital in his community. He accumulates wealth as if he'll use it in the afterlife. Here, you can't tell if someone is rich. They volunteer and donate everywhere. These rich people in Africa are descendants of slave merchants, so the money trickles down. Interesting. I take there from Awujale. So these are some of the reactions we have, and good thing that we live in a digital world now. So if you say something, they're not going to take your word for it. They'll take it with a pinch of salt, and they have the tools and mechanism to verify and fact check. So we live in an open source world. There's information everywhere. So the moral of the story is, please don't take Nigerians or anybody for a ride. People can always verify information. And in other climes, you don't even need to invoke an freedom of information request. This listings are publicly available, just as long as you have connection to the internet. Yeah,
and that's right, and that's right, and that's exactly what we saw with some who had decided to go online and fish out this information. But then again, there are key facts, and the key indicators are: when did the governor or former governor, when did he become governor of Abia State? What year? And when did his time elapse? Remember, he had 2 terms. Okay, so if you look at from I think 1999, I remember 1999, the house was bought in 2003.
So how do you say it was before you became governor?
Can you see?
And the facts are
there. The facts are there. How do you say you got it before you became governor? That's impossible.
Yeah, but you could argue.
But then again, you can argue, yes,
in Boston, like he said.
And then sold.
And then he sold it. And the money he used to purchase this house was from proceeds from the sale of the house in Boston, Massachusetts.
Absolutely. So
we also need to find out when he bought that house in Boston, Massachusetts. I guess, and that would give us what we're looking for.
That definitely would do so. But Nigerians are not in any way taking it with a pinch of salt. Their grievance is that this is a governor, and it's a replica of what they've seen other politicians do, which is rob from Peter to pay Paul. Now they're kind of like insinuating that this is exactly what the former governor had done, which is rob from Peter to pay Paul. And in this case, Peter happens to be, like many have said, taxpayers' money. And this is nothing new, especially within the political space, because we've heard, we have the case of the Ziani man. Remember the Ziani case, which is still ongoing, one of the biggest that Nigeria has ever witnessed. And then you also have situations where you have a governor or a former governor or a sitting governor has properties in different parts of the world. And that's why Nigerians are wondering, is politics...
and then things at home, back home, you can see the peace and tranquility he's enjoyed in what's this location again? In the U.S. And then you go back to the senatorial district, Abia North, and see the conditions the ordinary people are living there. That's why I'm questioning the motivation for this video in the first place. Not the second video of him clarifying. The young man that was, doing MTV
the video. Yeah, that's the guy.
He's a public figure. You know how sensitive things are at this point in time. And then you're showing off the former governor, the current senator's mansion where he lives, and you know the condition of things back home. So what's the essence? And at the end of the day, it's just, you expect celebrities and musicians to be doing this. There used to be a show called MTV Cribs, where
Cribs
artist takes the reporter around the house. Is boastful. So what is this meant to be some sort of achievement?
I also think this video didn't come at the right time, especially looking at the fact that the same person, the former governor, the senator, has a case with the EFCC, which seems to have died down.
He had already started serving a jail term.
Before,
it was struck out because of technicalities. So knowing the background and knowing the sort of history this person has, and you still go ahead to, I mean, look at that massive mansion. How many people can even, how many rooms will be occupied? And
Well,
then,
remember that
I wonder what the people of Abia North feel about this, because he's the senator representing that constituency. So they're in a better position to address this, but not a good look from my end.
Well, don't forget that some will argue that the former governor was actually an Oga or headed the First International Bank Limited just at the age of 33.
Yes, he's also the owner of Sun newspaper.
Exactly.
And he owned the defunct Slock Airlines.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
and
he's been a very famous
some of the properties
businessman
were also
before he
bought under
got
the
into
Slock,
corruption,
you know,
yes.
and so on. So
But
there's
before he got into politics.
exactly.
Yeah.
So many would say that his story is not really clear. Could it be that he made his money truly and really from some of these businesses he owned, be it apart from the newspaper? There's also the situation of him being, like I said, the bank. So could it be that he made money
Yeah, as a private citizen.
before he got into
Yeah, but
politics?
he could make money as a private citizen and then make more money as governor. I mean, these things two things can be right.
I agree.
But I guess the fact checkers will have to do more investigation in finding out when he bought the house in Boston, Massachusetts, because this house in Maryland was bought in 2003 and was already governor in 2003.
Yeah, he was already governor. That's it. Anyway, Nigerians, take it easy. Let's do more research before we cry wolf, because that's exactly what we saw on social media. But then again, these are the things that we see. But then again, we need to also be very, very certain that the fact-checking is indeed correct. Maybe that's where
your sources are right, yes.
Yes, this is where the journalists will throw their hats in and say, listen, let's dig deep. But I'm sure Binga doesn't have that time, neither do I. If not, possibly we'll take that time to do so. But let's leave that aside. Let's go to a ministry, one ministry that I call the most problematic ministry in the history of Nigeria's democracy.
Why do you say it's problematic?
I would say so, Benga. This same ministry has been taunted with missing money or monies.
And Nigerians will be wondering,
Finances.
what ministry are you talking about?
In short, it's like, this morning, yesterday rather, when I saw the story, I laughed. I said, I think I have another name for this ministry. It should be the home of confusion and corruption.
And it's a very sensitive ministry.
It's a very sensitive ministry. It's actually the Ministry of Women Affairs. And remember that everyone who has worked under this ministry, there's always issue. There's one issue or the other. Anyway, yesterday wasn't any different. News Central was there at the premises of the Ministry of Women Affairs, where the minister, who happens to be a new minister, who had just replaced the former minister,
who was let go because
of
corruption allegations.
Exactly. The FCC said she had 136 million naira missing. She needed to come and explain. We're talking about former minister Uju Kennedy, who has now branched into Nollywood. She's now acting movies.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes, she's now into Nollywood. She's acting movies now. And that's her, she's also a presidential candidate for the APC, the first woman presidential candidate.
She stepped down for the
yes,
current
who
president.
stepped down for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But she was, many have said she was, in other words, compensated with the Ministry of Women Affairs, of which when she started, there seemed to have been a lot of drama around her.
She was always in the news.
She was always in the news. She was ready to talk tough.
Figure.
I mean, which wasn't bad at all. People said, yes, you need an outspoken woman. But then again, many felt it went too far. Remember when they had an event and she stormed the event and told them to scatter everything and stop that event, that she never gave approval.
Yeah.
And where did they get the money from? And so on and so forth. Not one. You know, there was another situation again. And then people would reach out to her.
She was always in the forefront.
Yes, she was there. Do you think she did too much?
I mean, people have different methods, but did she fulfill the mandate of the ministry? It's one thing to do performative, tokenistic things. It's another thing to, you know, really have an impact that would that would affect the majority and generality of the people. But let's take a listen to what went down in Abuja yesterday with the new Minister of Women Affairs.
Even a piece of paper to write it. We don't have. And most of the time, you do official assignment with your personal money. She told us that she's not accountable to us. She's accountable to Mr. President. Like we should go and meet permanent secretary in anything we need.
This woman refused to meet with the staff. We have taken unnecessary steps, a year endurance. The beauty of democracy is to have access to your leader. This woman thinks that she's more special than us. Every Nigerian on the streets is a potential president. She comes with legion of essay. She has more than 25 essays. What we want, if possible, should be posted to another ministry.
Well, in case you're wondering who they're talking about, it seems the Ministry of Women Affairs is now missing former Minister Uju Kennedy Ohane, because right now this is a new minister on board who they're talking about, and that is Hajia Iman Sulaiman Ibrahim. That's a face there. She took over after former Minister Uju was let go. But you could hear the complaints about her. They say she has 25 SAs.
And the essays are working, because immediately after this incident happened, one of the essays released a statement on behalf of a minister saying, you know, she's trying her best to, she's listened to the plight of the people, and you expect her to come out and address the workers and address their grievances there.
She doesn't talk to them.
Yeah, so
that she's high up there.
She's on the level of the president.
That when she comes, they can't see her.
With presidents and our fellow ministers.
That they use their money to work. There's no paper, no pen to even work in the office. That when she comes in, she looks around
then
and she
again,
shows up.
I mean, looking at how the civil service works, the minister is up there. You have directors, you have a permanent secretary. Is it the duty of the honorable minister to provide provisions and all these issues? There's a budgeting system. It's not the minister that would remove 10,000 naira and say, please go buy provisions, go buy stationery and all of that. So I really don't understand why these... I mean, I understand leadership. You need to interact with the people you work with. But why they need to see her every day and interact with her? Go out and do your work as a civil servant.
But they're saying they cannot do their work because they do not have...
Yeah, so they should take it up with their permanent secretary and their directors of departments.
Now, look at them here when they left, when they sacked former Minister Uju Kennedy. They were celebrating. Let's listen, just watch this video.
Nature. It's like human nature, Nigerian nature. Be careful what you wish for. Yes, be very careful.
It's like a movie script. Did you hear that lady say, thank God, thank God,
and now there's a new minister that is the complete opposite. She's camera shy of the former minister, and you're still complaining that you are not seeing her, she doesn't talk to you. I really hope that they can do an appraisal for the workers in the Ministry of Women Affairs. They need to look at their KPIs. If they've met it, they need to do promotional exams, because it looks like they have so many free time in their hands.
Let's see reactions. But let's see what Nigerians are saying very quickly. What were her achievements as the Minister of Police Affairs? A Ministry of Women that no impact has been felt. Even the state commissioners silence except the lady in Anambra, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that's the former one. So it's asking what they're doing. This ministry, like I said it.
That's what
you know. That's what I said. I'm like, this ministry always. Okay. By the way,
I mean,
the
like
former
you
minister
said,
has gone to Nollywood now.
So he's not far from
she's gone to Nollywood, so she started her acting career. By the way, anyway, anytime you see civil servants behaving like this, Anytime you see civil servants behaving like this, is because
they've closed their stealing business. They've blocked one source of chopping money.
So those
they
civil
call it
servants, no
work
more.
Exactly.
Nothing
That's
is
why I
coming
said they
again.
should.
So they are not happy.
They should even do an appraisal and see if they are meeting their KPIs. Those civil servants themselves.
There's drama. There's drama in this city.
And maybe for once they should. I know it would lead to a lot of backlash, like you said. Let's try a male minister for women affairs and see if things will change. After all, men work in the ministry.
After all, women become football coaches too. They coach men, and same thing, men coach
and no
women.
one has said a woman can't be minister of sports. So
Nobody has said so.
let's try that.
But then again, Benga, that would be going too far. But what I just want to say is,
But their grievances are very pedestrian and basic. I don't understand why you need to. What do you want to use her face for? Look at her picture. She needs to talk. She's talking to her directors and permanent secretary. That's fine. All these other issues are mundane. She's not the one
feeling anything. Like nothing is happening. And let's be honest too.
Maybe
Benga.
programs.
But let's
the
be honest.
impact
Too.
of the
what
ministry.
have we really heard from that ministry?
So the minister would drive policy. Yes, maybe our directors aren't giving her ideas. I think the whole ministry should be overhauled. That's why I said that ministry again.
But why don't we even have Ministry of Men Affairs?
Men are already, it's a man's world, like they say. So we don't need a ministry.
So men don't need any ministry.
Dear men.
Yeah. Let's talk.
But honestly, it's something we should look at. But I guess Ministry of Youth and Sports.
No, that's for youth.
It's for sports.
So youth,
and it's for youth.
It's gender. It has no gender bias. It's just for every. But I just want to highlight, just to wrap things up, that for those in the Ministry of Women Affairs, you may have some type of, grouse with the current minister, but remember that the broom you use to flog the first minister is the same broom you want to use, or the cane to flog this second one. If it happens way too many times, it shows that the problem might not even lie with the ministers. Or
maybe it's the people,
maybe personnel. The personnel in that ministry that have problems. But their grievance is also clear that they don't even have anything to work with, no working tools, no so on. That they even use their money to do the job. And I think that is something that the governor, or better still, let's say the governor, the president, better still in quotes, beg your pardon, should look into. Because that ministry is always filled with one story.
I really wish today is one of those days that I wish Olive was around. It would be nice to hear her take.
Who,
as
Olive,
a woman.
right?
Yes, on the issues of her gender and the Minister of her gender. So,
oh my goodness.
Shout out to Olive.
Yeah, that's all. Anyway, that's all on Wake Up Conversations. We've looked at these stories, and what a way to bring it down. Ministry of Women Affairs. Even the women cannot manage the affairs of the child.
I wish we had the press statement of one of the aides of the 25
I think we'll get that during the course of the show.
Program.
Anyway. Yeah.